Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear friends, today we are going to practice 3-column cash book with the help of a problem from our book. The question is in front of you. This is exactly taken from your book. Let's start it. Read out the question first of all. Then we will take each transaction one by one and try to solve it. You will first of all study this question all together. Then we are going to discuss, we are going to take one by one transaction. Let's start from the first transaction. He said in the beginning, from the following particulars, prepare a 3-column cash book for the year 2017. The first transaction is December 1st, cash in hand 3000 and cash at bank 1,40,000. As we see that there is no name of the business in the question, so just ignore the name and remaining is the cash book. This is our left hand side or receipt side or debit side, and this is our right hand side or the payment side, or if we see proper in the accounting, it's our credit side. 2017 December 1st. So write down the date first of all, December 1st. Here is the balance and write down 3000 under the cash column and 1,40,000 under the head of bank or in the bank column in front of the row of the balance dated December 1st. This is our first transaction. Let's see the second transaction. In the second transaction, he said, received from Ramesh rupees 19,800, discount allowed rupees 200. We have received cash. Our business has received cash 19,800 from Ramesh and we gave him discount 200 rupees. So 200 rupees is the discount, 19,800 rupees is the cash, and this transaction indicates that it is a receipt. So we will write down this transaction on the receipt side or left hand side or the debit side of the cash book. So this is left hand side or the receipt side or the debit side. So write down the date first of all, December 2. In the very first row after the balance, the next row we will write down the date. Then sources, particulars, detail from where this transaction has been happened. This cash or the discount is related with the Ramesh. So write down in the particular Ramesh. And in the discount column 200 and in the cash column 19,800. So this we will write down. This transaction has been completed. Let's see the third transaction. On December 3rd, deposited into the bank rupees 10,000. From the business, 10,000 rupees has been deposited into the bank. So it is a contra transaction. 10,000 rupees will be deposited in the bank. We will write down 10,000 receipt in the bank, and from the business 10,000 rupees is made in the payment side. So December 3, cash 10,000 in the bank column, because bank is going to receive the cash in this transaction. So on the receipt side, we will write down 10,000 in the bank column. On the other hand, from the business, rupees 10,000 cash is disposed of, is gone outside, or is paid somewhere. So 10,000 rupees in the cash column we will write down on the payment side, and this 10,000 has been gone to the bank. Therefore, in the particular or detail or the description column, we will write down bank. And in the receipt side, 10,000 rupees has been received in the bank, and from where this 10,000 is coming, it is just coming in the form of cash. So in the particular detail or description column, we will write down just cash. So this is a contra transaction. Therefore, in the ledger folio page, we will write down the word C on the both sides of the cash book. Transaction number 4, purchased goods for rupees 50,000 and paid by check. This business, this organization has purchased goods worth rupees 50,000 and the payment is made by check. Payment is made from the bank. Therefore, we will go to the payment side, credit side. First, we will write down the date, particulars, why we are going to pay this cash, detail, because we have purchased some goods. Therefore, in the particular column, we will write down the purchase, and as the payment is made from the bank, therefore we will write down 50,000 in the bank column. Next transaction is sold goods to Amir on credit, rupees 14,000. As you know, this is a credit transaction on credit, and in the cash book we will record only cash transactions. All those transactions in which cash is involved, we will write down only those transactions in the cash book. As there is no cash in this transaction, it is on credit, it is on account, or cash will be paid or received later on when there is any transaction on credit. Therefore, as cash is missing in this transaction, so this transaction is not recorded in the cash book. Let's see the next transaction. Transaction number 7, receipt from Amir, a check for rupees 14,000. We received a check from Mr. Amir of rupees 14,000. You know very well that when we are going to receive a check from a customer or from any party, and that check has not been deposited into the bank in the same day, then we will treat that check in the cash column, or we will consider that check as cash. So in this transaction, our business received check, but that check has not been deposited into the bank on the same day as per our transaction. Therefore, this 14,000 will be shown in the cash column of the cash book. Date, then particulars, we received this check from Amar and Company, and in the cash column we will write down the amount of the check, keeping in mind this rule. Next transaction, sold goods for cash, rupees 14,000. As we have sold goods, therefore we will receive the cash. So we receive the cash. It will be recorded in the receipt side of the cash book. Write down the date. Then in the cash column, 14,000. From where? Why this cash is coming into the business? This is because we have sold some goods. So in the particular, in the detail description, we will write down sales. Due to sale, we have received this cash 14,000 rupees. On December 9, paid Salim rupees 19,600 by check. Discount received rupees 400. This is a payment transaction. Therefore, it will be recorded on the payment side of the cash book or the credit side or the right hand side. So, on the very best available row, write down the date, then the name of the party to whom this payment has been made. We made this payment to Mr. Salim. So in the particular column or in the detail column, write down Salim. Discount is also present in this transaction. Therefore, 400 rupees in the discount column and remaining 19,600 is paid through check, through bank. So therefore, 19,600 will be written in the bank column as it is in front of you. Next is December 10, paid salaries, another payment transaction, paid salaries. So it will be recorded on the credit side of the cash book. Go to the credit side or the payment side. This is our payment side. So next available row, write down the date, December 10. And in the cash column, we paid rupees 2,000. So write down 2,000 in the cash column. Why we paid this 2,000? Why this 2,000 is going out from the business? This is because we have paid salaries. So in the particular, write down salaries or salaries account. Next transaction is exactly similar as per our previous transaction. Paid again, payment transaction. This time telephone charges. We paid the telephone charges. So on the payment side again, just write down the same criteria as we adopted in the previous transaction. Write down the date in the date column. Then particulars, telephone charges, and the amount is 1200 in the cash column. So 1200 in the cash column. Simple transaction similar to that, the previous one. Next transaction is purchase goods for cash, rupees 8,000. So on December 13, we have purchased goods and again we made the payment. So this is whenever we are going to purchase something, we have to make the payment. We have to pay. Therefore, we paid rupees 8,000 cash. Again, a payment transaction exactly like the previous two, like our salaries, like our telephone charges. Similarly, purchase goods, date, purchase, the reason why the cash is going out from the business. In the cash column, we will write down 8,000 rupees. Let's see the next transaction, December 17, paid cash. Again, payment. So therefore, recorded on the payment side of the cash book to Javed rupees 3,700. Discount received rupees 300. So we received the discount 300 and paid cash to Javed 3,700. Exactly similar as per our last three transactions. So on the payment side, write down the date. Then there is party's name. In the discount column, write down the amount of discount. And in the cash column, we will write down the amount of the cash 3,700. Our next transaction is withdrew from the bank for business use rupees 20,000. We withdraw from the bank rupees 20,000 cash for business use, for the office use. Therefore, it is a contra transaction, will be recorded on the both side of the cash book. December 19, cash is coming into the business, so on the receipt side we will write down the amount in the cash column. So cash 20,000, contra entry, therefore we record contra transaction. On the payment side, 20,000 has been paid out from our bank account. Therefore, on the payment side, we will record 20,000 in the bank column as cash is going out, as payment is made from the bank, or this is coming into the business again. Therefore, it is a contra entry. We will record marked as C. So, this is our contra entry. Next is purchase goods for rupees 14,000 and paid by check. Paid. Therefore, payment transaction will be recorded on the credit side of the cash book. December 31st is the date, purchases, and in the bank column 14,000 as we made transaction by the payment through bank. There is another transaction of the purchase. The only difference between this purchase and this purchase is, in this purchase we paid cash, hard cash, and in this purchase we paid through the bank by check. Therefore, it will be recorded here. Next transaction is sold goods for rupees 10,000 and received the amount in cash. It is a receipt transaction. Therefore, will be recorded on the left hand side of the cash book, or the receipt side of the cash book, or the debit side, as you can say. So, write down the date in the date column, 10,000 in the cash, as cash is coming into the business. Why this cash is coming to the business? Why is cash is coming to us? This is because due to the sale. So, particular column, write down the sale account, or if the cash is involved, we will record it in the cash account. What will be the other account involved in this transaction? That is sale. So, same reason we can write over here sale account. So, out of any these two reasons, you can remember just any one. Why the cash is coming into the business? Because due to sale. So, write down sale. Or the second one is, one account is involved in this transaction, the cash. The other account, cash, is recorded in the cash book. So, write down over here. The other account in this transaction is the sale account. So, write down the other account as the sale account. So, out of these two, remember just any one reason. That's why which you have to write over here in the particular columns. Next is paid rent. So, it is a payment transaction, will be recorded on the credit side of the cash book. This is our cash book credit side or the payment side. Date, in the date, we will write down that December 25th. In the particulars, why is payment going out of the business? Why we paid a check? Why we handed over the check? Why the cash is going out from our bank account? That is due to the rent. So 1400 recorded in the bank column because payment is made through check. On the other hand, if we see one account involved is the bank account and the other account is involved in the rent account. So one account is the bank account and the other account is the rent account. So we write on the rent account. Next transaction is of December 27 received from Asif rupees 11,800, discount allowed rupees 200. This is just a receipt transaction, therefore we will record it on the receipt side or the debit side or the left hand side of the cash book. We received 11,800, so we will write down in the cash column 11,800 and discount allowed is rupees 200, so we will write down 200 in the just discount column. So 200 in the discount column and 11,800 in the cash column, and all this transaction is related to Mr. Asif. So in the particular, write down the name, the party's name, the customer's name, Mr. Asif. So we will write this transaction on the receipt side. Next is deposited cash into the bank 6,000. It's a contra entry again. Cash is coming into the bank. So on the receipt side, we will write down in the bank account 6,000. We will mark it as contra because this transaction will be recorded on the both side of the cash book, debit side and credit side. So cash is coming into the bank. This 6,000 is coming in the form of cash, or other thing involved in this transaction is one is the bank and other is the cash. So bank column 6,000 as cash is coming into the bank and the other account is the cash account. On the payment side, cash is going out from the business. Therefore, we will write down in the payment side under the head of cash, and where this cash has gone, why we are paying out this cash, because this cash has gone to the bank, so we will write down the bank account on December 29th. Next transaction is the last transaction of the question, December 31st, paid for stationery rupees 300 again. Payment transaction we will write down on the payment side of the cash book. In the cash column 300 rupees has been recorded. So 300, or why this payment is made, why this cash is going out of the business due to stationery. So write down in the particular the stationery account and the date column. After all transactions has been completed, your cash book is like this one. Cash book should be shown like this one. The next step is, after completion of all the transactions, the next step is to close down the cash book. For this purpose, we are going to solve it. First of all, we will do the total of the discount column in the debit side and the total of the discount column on the credit side, and we will write down the total as it is. The total of the debit side is equal to 400, while the total of the credit side of the discount column is 700. So we will just write down this one. So this is the total of the discount column debit side and discount column credit side. The next step is get the total of the cash column on the debit side on the receipt side. This total should always be greater. So just get the total of this side, and this total should be written on the debit side and also on the credit side. Similarly, we will do the total of the debit side of the bank column and the total of the bank column on the credit side. We will match it, the total which is greater in numbers value, either the credit or the debit. If this total is greater, we will write down over here this one and also over here this side. And if the total of this column is greater, then we will write down the same total on the other side as well. In this question, our this total is greater 1,56,000. We will write down over here and also we will write down over here. So this is the total greater side over here and here. Now transfer the same on the credit side as well. Now this side is little bit short. The total of this side is not equal to the 92,600 and the total of this side is also not equal to 1,56,000. These two sides are little bit short. How much these sides are short? How much this column is short? Write down over here. And how much this column is short? Write down over here. The difference, this is the difference. The difference is called balance. So the difference is, on the cash side, the difference is 61,400 and the difference in the bank column is 51,000. This difference is called balance. So this is the completion of the cash book. After all transactions, we will wind up our cash book in this way, and these two balances. Remember, we will not find out the balance of the discount column. We will just find out the balances of the cash column and the bank column, and then these two balances will transfer to the next page or the first of the next month. So this is our question. Try to do it again. Thank you very much.